welcome to day 10 of Critical Encounters Villainous Yule calendar for December 2022. Here, we get in the holiday spirit and take a quick look at some random festive aspects of the game. So let's peek behind the door and see what our so-called villains are up to. Welcome to today's show. Today we are going to talk about, we're going to do a jolly old side scheme, guys. Is Marvel Champions the only game you guys play?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's not my only game.
Good night, everyone.
Mike's off the show. We're just going to talk for a few minutes each about some things that we like right now, some stuff that's bringing us joy, other games we like. Maybe it will inspire gift giving. Maybe you'll go out and buy it for yourself. So why don't we've got Mike here, Daniel's here, and Bill's with us, the board game lawyer. Hi, Bill.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Bill, would you like to go first and tell us about a board game you're currently enjoying that's not Marvel Champions?
Sure. I love lots of board games, and my wife and I like to play board games, and so we have a pretty good collection. Just recently, we had a family get together, and one of my sister-in-laws gifted me a game that we ended up playing several times during our visit, and it's called Trekking the World. And what this is there's I love maps of the world on a board. And so that's what this is. They have all the continents, kind of like Risk, kind of like Pandemic. And it has all these cubes on the board that represent souvenirs. And so your objective in the game, it's a head-to-head game. So your objective of the game is to travel the world, to go see all these wonderful sights, these wonders of the world, and pick up souvenirs as you go. Fill your suitcase full of souvenirs. You're gathering up victory tokens. They're piling up on you. You really feel like you're doing something every turn. And so it's a game that I'm going to recommend as a gift. This is a gift you could give any time of the year. And it's called Trekking the World. A lot of fun.
Cool. Nice. I haven't played that. It looks interesting on BGG.
Yep, we had a lot of fun playing it. And we played it several times in an evening. They said, hey, let's play again. So anytime you can get a lot of replayability out of a game, that's pretty fun. And it's kind of advertised for people who aren't necessarily gamers, and so you've got and there's a lot of strategy for people who are into gaming, so it kind of fits both people, so it's nice for families.
Oh, good. I love those kind of games. A little gateway game to get somebody into the hobby.
Exactly. Yep. Sure
Nice.
is.
Well, speaking of that, I'll go next.
Okay.
With this gateway games to get us into the hobby. So this game first came out a couple years ago, and I poo-pooed it as a ridiculous novelty, but then played it, got introduced to it, had a blast, bought my own copy for my kids to play, and I even played it with Mustafa once.
Oh.
And it is a wonderful intro game. It's funny and cute and clever. It's called Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Oh, yeah. That is a fun
And
one.
my daughters and I, we have a blast playing that.
Wait, say the name again.
Quacks of Quedlinburg. You are potion makers.
Snake oil salesman.
Oh, you're a quack. Okay, I got it.
You're a quack. Yeah, you're that kind of quack.
Okay. I thought they were ducks.
And you're making potions, and the whole gimmick of the game is like you build a bag full of ingredients, and you pull these ingredients out of your bag one at a time, and you want to push your luck but not have your potion blow up, because some of the tokens that you pull, like once you get a certain amount of them, the potion will blow up and it won't have worked for that round.
Okay.
But it's really cute and clever and it's just so fun because it's
I'm seeing a theme with Daniel and the chaos bag.
Oh, yeah. No, it's awesome.
Really
it's a mix between a deck builder and push your luck. It's great.
Yeah. And you don't have to feel bad about anything. It's not like you tried to build this incredible strategy and it backfired. It's like, yeah, whatever. And it's quick. It's great fun.
Cool.
So I recommend that to families that like games.
All right, Mike, your turn.
Sure. So one of the traditions I have around this time of year that just kind of started out of the blue. Like I always get roughly a week and a half off around Christmas, just because I work at a college and the whole place is closed down. And a friend of mine, he usually has a couple people over, on the 27th or 28th. And there's this awesome Thai restaurant near his place. So it's always been come on just after noon and play games the whole day and into the evening and eat Thai food. It's just and it's so awesome. We just do it every year.
That sounds
I
great.
love it. I love it.
It's great. It's great. And a couple of them have been really, leery about some of the more complicated games, but they're chatting about possibly playing Spirit Island. So I love that game. I'm going to try to introduce it to them over the break. Speaking of, not gateway games.
No.
I can see if you play kind of the basic spirits, it could be a what's the word? Kind of a middle of the road game. But that game can get really complex if you want to. But it is so much fun. I love the heck out of that game. It's probably my favorite non-FFG game out there.
Yeah, I discovered within 22 minutes that I had half the IQ required for that game.
But that's just it, because there are some, like, my sister doesn't like thinking 3 moves in advance. Like, she's not the 3-dimensional chess kind of player. She's more of the, I just want to do something fun and help out. And so I
Right.
gave her the one that's like, it's very simple. She knows how she's building up the same every game, and she knows what her goal is. Just big defense cards. That's what she does. Whereas you can get these really chaotic ones going. There's literally a spirit where it's like one of your abilities is draw the top card of the deck and do it. You have to do it no matter what it says.
Yeah.
It's that chaotic.
I chose the most complicated one in the box, and Mustafa's like, you don't want to do that one now. And I'm like, nope, I'm a gamer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, fair warning to all you folks out there. Spirit Island is a doozy, but it is also super cool, and I love the theme of it.
It is so good. And for those of you who are gamers, haven't played it before, nothing wrong with the intro spirits. They're still a lot of fun.
Yep.
I'm going to kind of piggyback off of Mike a little bit there, because he said he gets time off at the end of the year there. So do I. That's whenever my business is really slow, and I do the exact same thing. We take like a week of just playing games, and I fly down to Florida to visit my best friends that live down there. I live in Illinois, so I go down to Florida. I haven't been able to go the last few years, so it's been a bummer, but we play Twilight Imperium. And that's a game that you gotta set aside like days to play it, right? So, but we do the same thing. There's this Thai restaurant right around the corner. Sometimes that's the only thing that's open at that time, and so that's what we do. We gorge on Thai food, and we play Twilight Imperium, and then we take another break and eat pizza. And then this year, I think we're gonna go check out Avatar 2. It comes out about that same time, so we just got. I'm so excited to be able to travel this year again. It's been a real bummer not to be able to go.
Oh, tell me about it.
Last couple of years, yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that.
No, I find it suspicious that you go to Florida, because I know coming up you're going to talk about somebody on this show who starts in Florida. Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I've been down there. I've seen it.
You've seen them. Okay.
Question for you, Bill. Which Twilight Imperium? Is it the latest edition or the earlier one?
4. We played Twilight Imperium 4.
That is the most current one, right?
It's the most current one. We haven't played with any of the expansions yet. We've played with all the races several times, but we just love it. You just sit around the table. We talk and laugh and visit and play the game, and there's a lot of depth to it as far as like the politics and things like that, but we do like area control, so there's that back and forth too, and it's very simple. You might think it's going to be a complex battle method, but it's not. It's just rolling dice. That's how you're taking over the guy. It's kind of like Risk. You're just taking over the planet. So, but there's steps to each attack, but we love it mainly just because of the camaraderie. It just gets us around the table. It's a big, huge footprint. We're eating pizza and having fun. So, I mean, how can you go wrong with that?
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
really.
That's great.
What about you, Steve?
Okay, so I'm going to diverge from the board games and go into a video game.
What are those?
What are those? So there's this great indie strategy / simulation game, and I think Daniel will enjoy the theme, called Northgard. It's Norse mythology based.
Okay.
So it's like Vikings vying for control of a mysterious newfound continent. It has great art. It has very nice, what do you call it? The voice acting. That's what I'm trying to say. It has great voice acting. Has fun mechanics where you're building up your clan and you're going out and you're exploring new territory and you're colonizing new lands, and you run into things like kobolds and fallen Valkyries and other clans, and you're trying to become the king. And it has like co-op versions and multiplayer versions and all that kind of stuff. I
Can you
picked
play
it
it
up off.
solo?
You can play it solo as a story mode. It's really fun. It's got a lot of tech trees that you can do, and the art is really, it's slightly cartoony.
Okay.
Has a feel. The art, the in-game art feels a little bit like old Warcraft 3. I just really enjoy it, and the theme and of the Vikings and stuff just makes it a ton of fun. And I picked it up off a Steam sale, and it's super worth the price of admission.
Now, is it a turn-based game?
No, it is not a turn-based game.
Then I can't play it. Can't play it.
You can't play it. So what does happen is all your little people kind of do the things you tell them. You say, okay, you're going to be a villager, go do villager stuff, and they just go do villager stuff. And then you make little soldiers or axe throwing guys or shield maidens, and then you take them off and you can go colonize other lands. It is real time.
Yeah. What a
Yeah, and
bummer.
they're gathering resources and things and doing lore master stuff, and you get all this fun interaction. And yeah, the voice acting really makes it enjoyable for me too. So Northgard,
Cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
So my Tuesday night group that is a live, in-person group with Judith and Sean, we are playing Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion and enjoying it quite a bit.
The Jaws of the Lion is sort of the intro campaign. Is that right?
I think it's more. I think of it more as a Gloomhaven you can actually finish.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Though it's cool because the board is like a book. It's a campaign, and it's like 25 scenarios, and it's just a big book that is the board of it. So like that's a nice thing about it. And the first 5 scenarios kind of teach you the game incrementally, which is great. We've been having a blast. It's like group puzzle solving.
Oh, nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And
it's not as daunting as that giant Gloomhaven.
Yeah, that's kind of why I in quotes the intro one. It's the one that you can manage. It's the manageable one.
Yeah, and it's really cool.
Okay, I got one more.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I'm also taking a week's vacation in the middle of the month, going down to Calgary to visit my sister. And usually we end up playing something just like silly and entertaining. And so we're probably playing Tales of Arabian Nights again.
Oof.
Old school game, but wow, is that chaotic and joyful. Don't go into that game with a plan to win. It is very chaotic. It is entirely story driven. Just have fun with it.
What's it called again?
Tales of Arabian Nights.
AKA worst game ever made.
No. It's not. It's not. So it's
I think it's funny you would call it a story driven game.
Well, that's all there is.
Well, there are words. Yes.
Hey, don't listen to Daniel.
Stories generally have, plot, structure.
Basically, you're traveling around a map. You've got these quest cards that give you start you off on a journey, but you can really go wherever you want in the world. And everywhere you go, you're going to encounter something. It could be a beggar. It could be, a genie. It could be who knows what. And you're given a set of reactions. How are you going to approach this person? And then from there, that the person to your left takes out the giant storybook and figures out what happens. It's neat. They borrowed that mechanic for Above and Below, and I think there was one more, kind of a covert op themed game. Not springing to mind.
I've got another game that I'll talk about. It's called Calico. They've heard of that one before. Steve, I think you said you heard about that one.
Yeah, I have that. We like that one.
You got that one? So it's a competitive quilt making, cat collecting, tile laying game. So if you guys are into quilts,
Wait, you forgot about the buttons. You have to collect buttons too.
There are buttons that you also can put on your quilt.
Yes,
you're trying to make this beautiful quilt to try to attract all these various cats onto your quilt. And my wife and I are both cat lovers, so we'll actually sit down and play this one. It's very puzzly. It's deceptively. Don't you think, Steve? It's harder than
Yes.
what you think
Yeah.
going in. It says it's for ages 10 and up, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful game.
It sounds cutesy, but it's got real strategy and real depth to what tile do I pick up next because I'm trying to create this pattern, or I'm trying to create these colors, or I'm trying to take this away from the other person's quilt because they need this piece to attract that 12-point cat, but I better grab it before they do. And can I use it? Yeah, it's a fun game.
That's the one thing that gets me in trouble in my household is taking the patch that she wants,
Yes.
and then here we go, you know.
Yeah, you have to be careful with that. Me too. We've played this with our oldest son. He's 15 now, so I guess he was 14 when we played with him a few times, and he kicked our butt like twice with it, and he enjoyed it. It's a fun game. Yeah. I suggest it for anyone too. Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a fun puzzly game. It's just a nice light, theme, but it's just cute, especially if you got kids or pet lovers. They're fun.
Yeah, when we play, I feel I even though it's got like there's a little stress there because it's like I really got to get the right tile, but it puts us in this like somewhat peaceful mood, sort of like when we play Wingspan, sort of like a peaceful mood. I don't have laser blasters. I'm not destroying somebody's castle or taking their tower. It's just making a quilt, getting cats. So yeah,
You make it sound so serene.
yeah, it is.
Okay, speaking of serene, I do have one. Have you guys played Canvas?
No.
Okay, it's a game with a deck of cards. Think of like that giant size card, and all the cards are translucent, but they have little colorful images on them. So one of them might be completely clear, but there's a balloon in a corner, or you'll see a fisherman somewhere, and you're supposed to draft them and then lay them on top of each other to create these larger canvases.
Oh, okay.
And it's a set collection thing where you're trying to, you'll score points for whoever has the most different primary colors, or if you meet these criteria, you get these points. And there's a certain number of turns in the game, and there's a tension between playing your artwork and grabbing a new canvas to start building off of. Really cool game.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, again, very light, very zen.
Yeah, there's another game out there that you had like transparent cards.
You did it in Mystic Veil.
Yeah, I think
that's
that
what I was
Mystic Veil started that shtick, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
I'm going to name 4 fun cooperative card games for young and old, but I won't say anything about them. I'll just name the names. Hanabi, the game. Why am I blanking?
The Mind,
the
right?
Mind. Yep.
Yes.
The Mind. And Fox in the Forest Duet.
Oh yeah, all 4 of those. Wonderful.
All 4 of those are just great games. They take 8 minutes to play. They're wonderful.
Cool.
Definitely recommend all of those.
Don't bring the Mind to a convention. It doesn't work.
No, you have to. You can only play a game with someone you know well and can mind meld with.
Yes, and it's not good when you're at a convention.
No.
All right, I have one more. This is a role-playing game. I know, Danny, you play some RPGs with folks.
I do. I love RPGs, yeah.
Okay, so this one is Symbaroum.
I've never heard of it.
Symbaroum. It's by the Free League Publishing, Swedish publisher. It's a somewhat horror style. It's fairly dark. There's all the Swedish publications, but then they're in English as well. You can find them, and it has this great art in it that's very evocative, by the artist Francois Baranger. I don't know how. He's French. He did a bunch of Call of Cthulhu and At the Mountains of Madness.
Francois Béranger.
There you go. That.
There you go.
Just call me Chad from Cardboard of the Rings. It is so much fun. It's not. There's enough crunch to it for a role player who wants to play with a bunch of crunch. You're rolling dice and you're trying to hit target numbers and things like that. But there's not so much of it that it takes away from just this great setting. There's a ton of pre-published scenarios for it, and you can play like a goblin right out the gate, and there's this giant forest, the Davalkar forest, that has these witches and these ancient things in it. And the big push is, or the main story is sort of like this nation had to flee its lands because of like dark lords and like evil stuff and all whatever. And they come over the mountains into this area, and they're now settling, and they're butting up against the barbarians and the witches and the things that are there, and they're trying to establish their own colonies, but they really can't get a foothold. And there's just a lot of good political
That
intrigue,
sounds
and
awesome.
it's just so well written, and it just looks so much fun when you look at it. You're like, you show a picture to your players and like, yeah, this thing, and everyone's like, oh, like that's all you need. Yeah, everyone knows exactly what you're talking about, and there's the mechanics work really well if you want to tell a mystery, if you want to do like a tracking scenario, or if you just want to do combat. It's great. Symbaroum.
Symbaroum, awesome. So upstairs, I have like hundreds of RPG rule books, but I didn't know people played RPGs. I thought you just read the rules.
Yeah, we
Oh,
played
that's
this
great.
we played this a bunch during the pandemic on Roll20.
Roll
Is
20,
that what
yeah,
it's called?
absolutely.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Yep.
Yeah.
Great platform.
And then we've translated to the table once in a while. So
My daughters and I are waiting impatiently for our Avatar RPG Kickstarter to come.
nice.
Oh, yeah.
So what I'll do is in the show notes for this episode, I'll try and put a link to everything we mentioned, to like the BGG
Yeah.
link or something like that, so folks can find it.
Yeah. Great games, everyone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have any other games that we've left out that we really want to talk about before we go to the next piece?
I like as we're talking about playing roles, and it's just kind of a lighter game, but it's really, really fun. It's called Sheriff of Nottingham. Have you seen that one, or seen that one played, or
Seen it?
anything? That is
I
a lot
lost
of fun.
hard on that.
Yeah, you must be a terrible liar, right?
I am terrible.
You're bad. So yeah, if you're a bad liar, you probably won't do so good. But it's really neat because you're trying to smuggle goods into Nottingham. The name of the game, Nottingham. So, and the sheriff is trying to stop you at the gate, and he's asking you what you have in your bag. And so it's a card game. So you have all these cards, and you're trying to put all these different goods in your bag, and you're trying to match goods up. But if they're not matching, or there's contraband that you can try to sneak in, you could try to sneak in beer or swords or other things that aren't approved. But you're trying to outwit the sheriff there at the gate. And it turns into, you end up talking like the sheriff, and you're quizzing each other, and you're really like trying to draw them out. And that's a really fun game. It's like a light, when you say it's a role-playing game, so to speak, Mike, in a way, you're taking on the role of these characters trying to take stuff into the city.
Oh yeah,
I think
in a way.
I think that's fair to say. You got to play it with the right people for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more fun when you role play it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We got to ham this up and not take it too seriously. So it's fun.
Nice. Well, all right, folks. That's a lot of other games. Go check them out. Let us know what you think.
Listeners, you got some stuff to do now. And good luck with your Twilight Imperium game.
Yeah. Holy cow. So we've given folks a range from like real deep gaming to casual stuff here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're going to give you one more game because we're going to do a contest right now.
This is the prize.
All right. Yes.
Hmm.
And it's Marvel Champions. So you can play Marvel Champions some more. Our longtime listener, Zachary B, has kindly given us a Mutant Genesis campaign box to give away to you folks.
Whoa.
Oh my.
That's the newest
This is
one.
the season indeed.
Yes. Very generous from Zachary B. So here's
really cool.
how we're going to run this contest. From now until New Year's Eve, well, I suppose we'll have to cut it short so that we can announce it on New Year's Eve. So from now until December 26th, how about that?
Boxing Day.
Boxing Day. You have till Boxing Day to submit. Here's what we're going to do. We're asking you for your fun, villainous New Year's resolution. We all know what a New Year's resolution is. I'm going to work out more. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to stop murdering innocent bystanders with my evil plans. Okay? What we want to do is we want to hear your villainous New Year's resolutions. We're going to collect everything that we get from folks. Mike, Daniel, and I, and Zach we'll each choose our favorite, and then we will randomly choose from those final 4 who wins the box.
Awesome.
And we will announce that on New Year's Eve when we talk about our own villainous resolutions. So I'll put a link. You can submit it on the Google form and all our various social medias and whatnot. So you'll be able to find the way to submit your entry.
Oh, thank you, Zach.
Zach
Yes,
is a good
thank
man.
you very much.
Good man, Zach.
Yeah, thank you.
Or is he good villain? It's hard to say. All right, folks. Well, thanks for sticking around. Bill, thanks for being here for this.
Hey, thanks for inviting me.
Bye-bye.
Bye, all.
Bye, all.
Bye.
Hey, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. That was our special gift to you. You want to send us holiday gifts? You can email us at criticalencounterspod@gmail.com. We are Critical Encounters on Facebook, or you can find us on YouTube by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. And on Discord, we are Vardane, Big Fumbloaf, and Wandering Took. If you like our show, tell Santa. If you don't like our show, tell Krampus. Good night, everyone.
Hey everyone, this is Kennedy Hawk from the MCM crew. I'm hoping to wish Steve, Mike, Daniel, and all their loyal minions a happy holidays. I prepared a little poem for this send-off, so it's called Enhanced Ivory Ho-Ho Horns, and it goes something like this. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house Vardane was deck-crafting, not wrapping, his poor spouse. When he finished, he sleeved and shuffled with care, in hopes that 0 boost icon cards would only appear. His hero, Tony, all snug in his alter ego bed, while dreams of tech upgrades they danced in his head. Then Mike did arrive and make such a clatter. Despite his best wishes, the theme, it just did not matter. He shuffled his deck and drew his first hand. 6 green cards, how great! Just how I planned. Daniel came next and caused quite a fuss. I thought we were playing Lord of the Rings, I'll have to adjust. He set up his deck just like a flash. Looking over at Iron Man, he muttered, oh, human trash. The alter egos were nestled all snug and recovered. The villains were waiting, still yet undiscovered. The game against Rhino Claws, it began really quick. Let's just hope some of our allies that they will stick. They flipped and they jabbed. They read card text and thwarted. All the rules deviations, fear not, they were reported. Mike defended, Daniel attacked, and Steve he enjoyed, until the villain was almost destroyed. One double charge assault was all that it took. Before this took, he was given the book. With one hero down, the others did not despair. After all, the villain winning, it's sometimes quite fair. Don't worry, we will probably flip Armored Rhino's suit. Steve said as he flipped a 3 boost icon card that gave him the boot. Daniel scoffed, and he laughed, and asked Steve to read. But the encounter card he had, it was Stampede. 3 villains defeated, and 1 villain is not. Or are they all heroes? I seem to have forgot. Rhino Claws lived, his evil scheme completed. If only they'd play Hawkeye, he'd have been defeated.